Hi everyone, and welcome to part 1 of our Autocross Novice School. I'm Stephen Duckworth. I'm a member of the Central Carolinas region of the Sports Car Club of America. This presentation was originally done for our Novice School. I put it online so students can watch it before the school, and that means we can spend more time having fun with the cars at the events, and in hopes that maybe other regions or other novices might find it valuable too. In part 1, we're going to do a quick intro to the sport for absolute beginners about what autocross is and the basics of the event. If that's not what you're looking for, go ahead and jump to part 2. The link will be down in the doobly-doo. So if you're still here, let's start off with a quick conversation. What is autocross? Autocross is a form of motorsport usually done in a parking lot, on a runway, or something like that, where cones are used to define a temporary course that you'll try to set your best time on without hitting them. The courses are never the same. There may be some elements that are duplicated depending on region and site, but generally the courses change every event. It's probably the safest form of motorsport out there. Speeds are usually kept under 70 miles per hour for the fastest cars that are there, and street cars are usually going to be below 60 miles per hour. Personally, I love that aspect of it because it means I can go 100% every single run without my sense of self-preservation kicking in and holding me back like it would on a racetrack with grass and actual walls. There are classes for everything from a bone stock car right off the showroom floor up to purpose-built open-wheel cars with wings bigger than your kitchen table. Street classes are the lowest prep level, but often they see sometimes the toughest competitions. They start with mostly stock cars with a few allowances for shocks and sway bars, among other things. Next are ST classes. They're general bolt-on mods like coilovers, sway bars, intakes, exhaust, and they'll give a little bit more flexibility for modding. Street prepared classes are next, and the big jump there is the ability to run R-compound tires like Hoosiers. You'll also see splitters and spoilers because some aero is allowed there. Street mod classes are after that, and the allowances there are huge. You can essentially think of street mod as playing Forza or Gran Turismo and being able to just go crazy in the mod garage there. Street mod is the home of cars that a 12-year-old aspiring gearhead would dream up and draw on their notebook, and it's absolutely amazing to see. Next is the prepared class. It's the top level of prep for production-based cars. You'll start to see proper racing slicks, completely gutted interiors, lots of convertibles with the windshield chopped off. And finally are the mod classes that are home to purpose-built race cars. Kart mod, A-mod, these are the cars that will have gigantic wings bigger than your table. Now, autocrosses are volunteer run events, which means you have to do a work assignment. I learned in my first year to take advantage of working cars, to watch how other people drive, the lines they take, and learn from it. There are variants of the sport like Pro Solo, where you're racing with the drag tree start side by side with somebody on a mirrored course. You'll pull up next to them, you'll both launch, the courses will split out from each other, you drive your course, you come back, and you get in line at the other side. And there are things like a double cross that I've seen run a couple times where you're not even really racing against the clock. You're lined up on a course that loops on itself with another car that's going the same way as you, starting at the other side basically, and you're trying to get back to your start first. But most of all, autocross is a social event. The saying is, come for the cars, stay for the people, and it's absolutely true. So what do you need to bring to an event? First, you're going to need a driver's license, unless you're underage and you're running in junior carts. Next, you're going to need a helmet. There are rules on helmets, but they change frequently as new classes come out. And this is targeted at SCCA, but other organizations have their own rules, so I'm not going to really mention it. If you're in doubt, go find the rules for the club you intend to run with. Usually if you don't have your own helmet, the club will have loaner helmets you can use. That pretty much goes across the board. I know our own club does. You're going to want to bring something to stay hydrated. You're going to spend a lot of time in a parking lot or some other paved pad with the sun beating down on you in the summer. We provide coolers for the workers out on course. We have them in grid, but it never hurts to have your own water supply, your own Gatorade, whatever it happens to be. You're going to want a torque wrench for making sure your lug nuts are attached. Tech's going to shake your wheels, but it behooves you to keep your wheels attached to your car. You can get super spendy on it, get a digital snap-on, or you can pick up a $20 special at Harbor Freight. It really doesn't matter. Wheels attached to the car, that's all we care. While you're at Harbor Freight, pick up a tarp. Sometimes with these summer events we have rain showers pop up. Sometimes you're out working course when they do and you can't really get back to your stuff. So if you have a cheap tarp to throw your stuff on, cover it up, it'll stay dry. Dry stuff is good. And comfy shoes are a must. Between the course walks, the work assignments, and just generally milling about and talking to your friends, you are going to spend a lot of time on your feet. Your step counters on your phones are going to love those days because you're hitting your goals, no doubt. Wear comfy shoes and make sure they're closed toe if you're driving. So once you get on site, first thing you'll have to do is sign a waiver. Both of our primary sites have site waivers, and at ZMAX there will be a guard at the gate waiting with it. All SCCA events are going to have an event waiver. So after you've signed the gate waiver, you move on and sign the event waiver. You sign it, you get your wristband to let everybody know you signed it, then head on in and find a paddock spot. Next step is to hit up registration. Get checked in, get paid up, verify your class and number. Next, you're going to go prep your car, remove everything loose from it, get your numbers on, and take it to tech ready to race. Tech will shake your wheels to ensure they're attached, as I said. They're going to make sure that your wheel bearings don't show enough play, like they're about to fail catastrophically on you. They'll check that your battery's securely tied down, that your brake pedal isn't going to go to the floor and not actually slow you down, that your seat belt function, and that your helmet is on the approved list. It's a fairly quick and easy safety inspection. Next up, you're free to go do some course walks. Do as many as you can, as many as you feel you need. Some people can get it done with one, some people need 20, and you have to find the number that works for you. At our events, we'll have 2 novice walks in the morning, if you do want to get a walk in with an instructor giving you driving tips. Once that's done, there's going to be a driver's meeting that you must attend. We'll go over safety, any other necessary announcements, and it's where you find out your run and work groups. Our events are almost always 4 run groups, and they're set up as odd even. That means if you drive 1, you work 3. If you drive 2, you work 4, and vice versa. Most regions seem to run this way, but based on the number of entries, you may end up with a different number of run groups, 2 or 3 or 5 or even 6. So pay attention at the driver's meeting so you'll know what your work and run groups are. So let's hit the safety. Walking speed except when you're on course. That means driving through grid and paddock. I always tell people not to drive any faster than you would personally want to be hit, and usually that's a pretty low number. If you're driving on course and you lose control of your car, both feet in, brake and clutch, get it slowed to a stop. Once you've regained your bearings, regained control, continue on to the finish. There's no smoking in active grid or on course. In the past, some cars have sprung a leak, and you don't want to be smoking near gas fumes. Fire is not comfortable, and you should do your best to avoid being on fire. That's a general tip, not just autocross. You're welcome for that. There are no handheld objects in the car, no cell phones, no cameras, no selfie sticks sticking out of the windows. This goes for passengers and especially for the driver. Keep your hands in the car at all times. I like arms, you like arms, we all like arms, so don't stick them out and risk having something happen to them. And finally, obey red flags. If someone is waving a red flag frantically at you, stop as quickly as you safely can. Don't slam on brakes, flat spot your tires, but get it stopped quick. There could be a car spun or stalled that you're about to catch up to. There could be fluids leaking from your car. I've been in one of those cars. Or your car could be on fire. So again, fire bad. Life pro tip. Cones form the heart of our sport. So let's talk real quick about working course and shagging cones. There are standing cones and there are pointer cones. The standing cones mark the course. The pointer cones give you visuals about where to go. Every cone on course should have an outline drawn around it, and the cone should be in that outline. If a cone gets hit, run out and reset it. If the cone's still standing and touching the box, there's no penalty. Just reset the cone in the box and get back out of the way to your safe spot. Signal this to your corner captain by waving your hands in front of you like a baseball umpire signaling safe. If the cone's knocked out of the box, even if it's still standing, it's a 2-second penalty. If a cone's knocked over, regardless of where it ends up, it's a 2-second penalty. Pointer cones don't count for this, only standing cones. When you reset the cones that have a penalty, either hold it up to show the corner captain before you put it back in the box, or go ahead and reset it and then signal with fingers held up to show how many were hit as you're getting back to your safe place. If a car DNFs, which means driving on the wrong side of a cone, missing an element entirely, or at events where grass is present, going far off into the grass, it's a DNF. Signal this to your corner captain by holding your hands over your head in an X like a hockey referee signaling a penalty shot. Other work assignments available at events are grid, timing, time slips, waivers, announcing, etc. Basically everything to keep an event running. If you have a condition that prevents you from running to chase cones, note it on your registration and talk to the worker steward as early as you can so they can try to make arrangements for one of those other positions. And the most important part, have fun. Nobody's getting millions of sponsorship dollars thrown at them. We don't have groupies. Nobody's signing autographs. We're all here because we're just car geeks and we want to have fun with cars. Like I said before, this is a social sport and the people are what make it what it is. So get out there, meet new people, travel to other regions, run their events. And ultimately, I would love to see all of you start doing national level events. Even if you think you're not good, If you're not going to win anything, it doesn't matter. National tours are a party, and solo nationals is a week full of parties. So if you try it, you're going to love it. And now let's move on to part 2.